This video project is something that I'm doing as just like a creative idea in my head about how 6 people in the Twin Cities who have careers or work within new media and culture can spread themselves using this new media landscape that we find ourselves in. I think it's very important given the new world we live in with the new types of technology and advances in internet and social media and all these things that we find a way to discuss and analyze and look into these relationships between technology and media and the things that they can do for you. It's something that's very important to me. It's something that I do as a filmmaker, as a person who hopes to have a huge career and future within this field. And I think it's important to understand that we can spread our brand, our content, and our message through an immense amount of media channels and markets. And there's no really bounds or limits to where we can go with this. So I guess that's the biggest idea of this project, is to kind of give you an idea and perspective from a few different people who have lives within new media and culture. My name's Seide, and I'm an amateur filmmaker. I'm also currently a student at the University of Minnesota, and new media and culture is what I study.
I'm Blaine Haytab, and I'm a technical entrepreneur that likes to do programming and engineering. My name's Cameron Prudhomme. I'm a freelance filmmaker based out of the Twin Cities here.
My name is Jared Drua, and I'm a mechanical engineer and entrepreneur. Currently I'm working part-time at 3M doing research and development, and I also started a company called Music Festival Nation, which is an informational database for festivals across the country.
I'm Hugh Simons. I go as Heiko as an artist. I make primarily, I guess if you want to put a name to it, orchestral chill trap, but really what that means is a combination hybrid of a lot of different kinds of electronic music.
I'm Cooley, better known as Mr. Too Cool, straight out of X-Fact Entertainment, and music is my forte, my man.
My name is Stan Scott, alias Stilo Real. I'm an independent rapper from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Grew up in the north side of Minneapolis, played basketball most of my life. Went to Mankato, a school called Bethany Lutheran College in Mankato, played basketball out there. After I left college, pretty much started taking music a lot more serious. So I've been doing music since I was 12. Was signed to a label back then called Versatile Records. It was a family-owned independent label. And now I'm with Pledge Empire Records, and it's like some guys I went to college with. They started a label, and now we're building it together.
So all these advances has just made it easier for the word to be spread and to reach more people with your product.
Social media has been indispensable. It provides free advertising to hundreds of thousands of people that you would never otherwise be able to reach with previous forms of technology that we've had.
It almost gives you a feeling of independence, you know. It's up to you now if you really want to get heard or seen by, you know, who wants to see you, you know. I think it's beautiful, man. It really inspires a lot of people to work that much harder. It makes people take the craft serious, you know. You got all these tools to get out there. There's no reason not to get out there. It's just, it comes down to how bad do you really want it. Like how much time are you really spending it?
I think that's huge in today's time, because as the years progressed since we were younger, we knew album sales were huge back then, you know, for people going into places like Sam Goody and, you know, FYE buying albums. But nowadays, people don't really do that because of the leaks, the bootlegs, you know, the illegal downloads and stuff like that. So the internet is a gold mine right now, and probably in a few years, it would probably only be the internet. You know what I mean? Like that's probably how it will be. So a lot of the times, like how you hold your music in privity is more so like you don't release music, but when you release it, you put it onto the internet, and people, like, we have iPhones now, we have iPads. Like, today's world is all electronics, so it's more convenient for people to pull out their iPad at home and go buy your album than to get in a car and drive to buy it, you know. Promoing, Twitter, everybody's big on Twitter now, everybody's Facebook, everybody's Instagram. Promo is huge in the internet. It's not the same like when we were able to just go flyer the whole state. Now we can touch people in the country, in different countries, you know. So social media, the internet, and everything, like, I think that's like 90% the battle for success to me.
It makes the connections much stronger. I'm like basically a part of their life. They go on like their Facebook or their Twitter or Reddit, and they see us regularly. And the more they see you, also with emails too, the more they just see you all throughout their life and through the thing, they just like, it's just, oh, that's them. That's just Music Festival Nation or whatever your thing, Google. That's just Google sending me another message, and just keeps you a part of the brand. All of these allow someone who's smaller and just starting out like me to reach a broader audience. I can share something with my friends, which in turn their friends see, or they might share on their page, or might retweet me or something like that. So new media has made it easier for the little guy to get out there.
Unlike before, we were limited to telephone calls or flyers or just very primitive ways of being able to reach people. Now with social media, we're able to take 1 second, type a very short message, and have it instantly be viewable to thousands of people in any location.
I think it's affected it for nothing but the positive, you know? Like, even if I get negative feedback, that's still positive for me, because now I know what this demographic likes hearing or seeing from me. I know what this demographic, you know, without having to hear from the grapevine, I'm able to connect directly over there, you know, just with the switch of my phone, you know? So it's just, it really actually makes things a lot more easier if you construct your plan out right. You know, because I need to know what people like about me or don't like about me.
Fans, quote unquote, that we interact with or we come in contact with, it's like technically they already know us. You know what I mean? Like they already know who we are because of, you know, that social network and everything. It's like you know, me traveling to do shows, traveling to Seattle, traveling to Denver, traveling to London, stuff like that. I've never been to these places. I've never met these people before in my life, but they come up to me and they speak to me as if they've known me for years. You know what I mean? Like, yo, man, I seen this video, you know, blah, blah, blah. I seen you put on you know, I seen you got 4 kids. It's like dang, dog. Like, but I mean, so in a sense, you got to kind of watch what you put out there.
I wouldn't say it has impaired me, but it's definitely raised the bar. It's made it much more complex to start a project because all these major companies are doing everything. They have Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all these things. They have a sick website, they have an app, they have everything. So if you step into the technological community in any way, shape, or form, you have to step your game up. Only complications that I've had with this new media is just learning the new programs, which takes me a while usually. But luckily with the internet, you are able to go on to YouTube and look up videos. So if I ever have a question of how to do something, I can just go on there, check it out, and learn. Almost like I don't need to go to school for it, but almost. Mostly
Positive. The negative aspect that I can see is the lack of privacy that a lot of people aren't even aware of. Almost everything you do is trackable and traceable on the internet, so you just have to be careful.
Nah, not at all. I think the lack of me using it as a tool can do so. If I was to just ignore it and not really use it, it could. But I don't think there's any negative in it whatsoever. Like, not at all.
I guess it depends on what media context. With the internet, obviously, like I make websites and do those things, so it's given me a way to communicate with the world very, very easily. Yeah, it's definitely improved my ability to get my ideas out there. I don't think the spread of new media has lowered the quality of my work. It's definitely allowed people with inventions of the computers, such as the red and the black magic that shoot in RAW, you're able to do so much more than when you were using film. When you had to use film, everyone had to be an absolute expert at everything because each tape you were running it. Now with these new media, you throw up a couple of lights and make sure everything's fine, and then do it, and you can change everything you need to in post. You can fix things, bring up the aspect ratio, everything like that.
Well, definitely. I think any person should take a certain amount of personal credibility with information they put out there. Yeah, nobody wants to be giving false information and leading people in the wrong direction, or at least that's not the goal.
I do feel more responsible for that, really. I think that the new media and culture has really enhanced my brand more than anything, because now, since there's so much competition, you have to treat every song like a single. You have to make sure that every song is as good as it can be. I have a rule when I'm producing that I think would actually help a lot of producers. It's pretty simple. It's harder. It's easier said than done, but it's don't make bad songs. Only make good material. Because if you always have that drive in your head, you can always produce new stuff.
I mean, because it's so many tools and technologies that makes it so easy to get your brand or craft out there, a lot of people push it out without, with that sense of urgency, without taking, time and care. Time and care are everything. And sometimes you can't rush it. Like, I've been working on 2 projects for 2 years now. I feel responsible to put out quality entertainment. How can I expect the consumer to be satisfied with something I'm not satisfied with?
Indeed. Indeed. I mean, because you never know who's really following you. I always quote this quote from Steve Harvey, and he always say, like, anytime that mic is in your hand, you got some responsibility. In one sense, like, I work with kids as well. A lot of my kids follow everything I do on social media. Everything. Like, if I were to post something that was inappropriate, like, I don't even accept them as friends on Facebook, but somehow they get into it. You know what I mean? So, like, in the same token, I kind of have differences with this. Like, it's kind of a ambivalence of, you want to make good music and stuff people are gonna relate to, and you're gonna make money to, and promote it. But I also want to do things that I feel is right to do.
Social media helps to connect all the members of the street team too. So not only am I able to promote my own company in my area, I'm able to have other people easily promote the same thing in different areas.
Absolutely, man. Like, look, I'm here with Ben Seide right now. The proof is in the pudding. But yeah, it's great, man. I worked with a lot of artists, a lot of producers, a lot of filmmakers, just in all different aspects of the nation. Just by reaching out. I put something out there, they put something out there, I reach out, they reach out. Hey, we ended up working together. Creativity involves minds, man. You can't do it on your own all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. The ability to connect with people in the industry that are like-minded or want to collaborate is easier than ever. It takes just one message in any of their outlets, or you can just message all of them and they will respond in some way. So it's so easy to connect with people.
Yes and no. I think spread of media definitely it definitely gives opportunity to meet new people and collaborate more, for people to understand who you are. Nowadays is weird. If you're popping, if you know, and no better way to make you look popping than the internet, than social media. Right now, right now here, if I were to post a video on Instagram, I took a stack of money, I put it right here, I showed my Louis belt, you know, all these things right now, and I was like, interview for music, blah blah blah, boss, you know, this album coming out, blah blah blah. People take heed of that, and they acknowledge it, and it's like, oh man, this dude's really moving. Nobody wants to follow anybody that doesn't have anything going for themselves. So that's what it means by perception. Like, if perception is everything, I'm kind of giving y'all the tricks and trades to this. I'm not supposed to, but perception is everything, man. So like, me pumping my music, my label, you know, putting out all the things we got coming up. You know, we had a movie at a theater and all these other things. It sparks people interest to be like, oh wow, Pledge Empire is really moving. That dude's still real. He's actually making moves. And then if they feel they are less, or you know, they can build upon our movement already, it would make them want to collaborate.
The internet is insanely vast, and so there's more to take into account from the internet in general as opposed to the rest of the world. So what that means for my workflow and what I tend to do is that I produce a lot faster. I need to make songs, you know, maybe a song a week or a couple songs a week, rather than spending maybe 3-4 months on a track.
I have more things to take into account. 'Cause every day it's something new popping up, you know, so you really can't take a day off. If you really want to, if the goal is to the top, there's no days off, man. So I say every day something adds itself, you know. So you gotta stay fresh. You gotta be able to take everything into account. You gotta be able to chalk it all down, put it together, and make sure you're on top of everything. So, but like with all the media outlets, man, it makes it way easier. It's just about how much time you invest into it, you know.
Actually, media and culture kind of defined the business that I'm starting. With today's growing interest in music festivals, previously there hasn't been anything to combine all the information for all these festivals into one place. So I kind of saw this need in the community right now, for people who want to find information on music festivals. And with the advancement of technology and social media, I was able to create a website that people are very interested in.
Advances in new media have only made things easier for me, from taking it from the beginning into the end of the project. With Facebook, I can create a private group and invite everyone who's involved in the shoot. We can bounce ideas off each other real time. We can send pictures, we can upload Word documents. So it's the only thing it's done is made things a lot easier and a lot less complicated. I have significantly more things to take into account. I go from, so like, here's my idea, now I need, like, everything that comes to mind, or at least the base things that come to mind are, you have to get the URL, you have to get the Facebook page, you have to, like, get all the social media accounts that are relevant, which depends on the idea. You have to, like, plan out your vision of your company, which that kind of didn't change for media, but it's still like a part of it. The process is definitely has more things added on ever since media has been a part of the game.
I'd say more. It's always more. One thing you learn in this business is complacency is your enemy. You know what I mean? And every time you get, like, if I were to set a goal, something like, say, set a goal to get 10,000 followers on Twitter. I set a goal to get this many views on YouTube. When you really accomplish that goal, it doesn't feel as good as you thought it would, because it's always this person over here who's doing a lot more.
my hope is to help others who are, in a way like me, a person who feels equally uncomfortable in every aspect of life, to find a way to open up for others so that others don't have to feel that way. All I want is for people not to understand the struggle that I dealt with growing up, the feeling of being an outcast, an alien, an outsider. But I realize now that being an outsider, seeing the world the way I did, the perspective I gained, whether people think I'm crazy or not, or pompous or not, or egocentric, I believe that I can do things to change this world. With a camera, without a camera, with my voice, without a voice, I could find a way. And that's because of new media and culture, because of these new advances, the new abilities that we've been given that will only expand and grow and grow and grow. And I think the sky's the limit, honestly. And honestly, the sky probably is not even the limit. The galaxy's the limit, because that's probably where we'll go with the technology we're going.
Anybody doing whatever they're doing should feel that way. If they don't, they should be lost within themselves. I mean, considering like where I grew up from, you know, like a lot of people that grew up in tough neighborhoods, we see a lot of kids and everything like that where a lot of them don't make it out of that neighborhood. A lot of them don't get a chance to be what they want to be. So, I mean, for me, it's motivation to keep me pushing, because when that kid look at me, they be like, yo, he came exactly from where I'm at right now. And look, he did it. You know, he could do it. It gives them motivation. Everybody that does this has to understand that you are putting yourself out there to be a public figure. Of course you're doing it for money. Of course you have your own family and things like that, but you got people that follow you. When you have people that follow you, you have to give a positive message. And that's the thing about my music. Like, of course we all have feelings. We all get in our feelings. We all want to rap about the negatives that's going on in our life. But in the same time, we got to understand that we can't just rap about cars. We can't just rap about money. We can't rap about chicks. We can't rap about drugs and what we did and all, because we're feeding an audience. We are always feeding an audience. And that audience, a lot of them, I mean, not a lot of them, but there's a good number who is gullible enough to take that and implement it in their everyday life.
You can go anywhere and be anyone you want. It's just all about perspective, about who you are and how you are perceived and how people want you to be in this world. If people love you, if they like the things you put out and you put in the passion, the hard work, and the motivation that you do, people will see that and respect that and give you these opportunities. That's why I was given these interviews. If I wasn't a respectful person, if I didn't go out of my way to reach out and try and help others the way that they helped me, why would anyone want to help me, you know? So it's honestly about paying it forward as well. We, as a culture, in new media and culture, need to work better together. So the idea of finding people within new media and culture like myself who aspire or are within careers in this society that we live in now, I truly feel that they can help express to you and understand the relationship between where you are and where you can get going. And the idea that if you're not ready for this advances, or if you're not ready for this idea of technological revolution, of being less private, of not understanding where this can go with this technology, then you're going to be very, very far behind very, very soon. And the more you understand that technology and the social media and the internet that you use drives things, the better you understand of where you can go in your life. I ask myself these questions because as a filmmaker, as a producer, as a person who studies new media and culture, who engulfs everything that is about, I felt it was important to really discuss and try and figure out how important new media and culture has become for us, because without technology, without social media, without the things that I've been given, the internet, without Google, without my personal iPod that is literally my answer anything gift to this world, I couldn't be anything. So I decided to make this video as a creative idea and to show the world what exactly different people do to use these new forms of media and culture and to become spreadable within media. It's very important in this world today. You look at anyone who's successful, they can manage all these things and find different ways to help. I just feel like this is one of the key topics in the world today right now.
Power of man, get underestimated. Put me on the spot and I will demonstrate it. Educated but still infatuated. With the knowledge capacity, I'm capacitated. Real shit you can't disguise. I got the type of pride that costs lives. It's life. Tote guns but never brag about it. So if I ever let it off, who can blab about it? Elohim paved the path for me, but my eyelids are cinder blocks. Out of shape, can't lift them up. Devil on my heels, but it don't matter, I'm at him. Had to give God my eyes, cause I heard the hills have them, let's conquer. Gotta see my caterpillars butterfly, so why? Never let the butter determine my life, that's righteous. It ain't all about the dollar, it's much more. Master preparation, meet the reaper at the front door. That's it, 16 for y'all.